Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for attending the City of Uniontown regular City Council meeting of April 3rd, 2025 at 5 p.m. Roll call.
Councilman Billy?
Here.
Councilman Thomas?
Here.
Councilman Winfrey?
Here.
Councilwoman Brown?
Here.
Mayor Gerke?
Here. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
An executive session was held today, Thursday, April 3rd, at 4 p.m. Regarding contract negotiations. Before we get started on a regular meeting, I have more than a few things to say tonight, but I'll make it quick. I don't want to bore anyone, but there are some things that I'd like to say. Number one, I really enjoy working with Terrence Price with the Code Enforcement Office. We speak every morning at 7:05, sometimes 7:06 in the morning, but he goes over everything that he has planned for the day, and I don't want to take all of his thunder for his report, but I just wanted to say that I enjoy that, and I can see progress being made through code in the city. Sheepskin Trail. If anyone has noticed, I hope you have, behind Caparella's, the city is getting the Sheepskin Trail done. Of course, that's through us. You know, everything's being done in-house. I want to thank Trace Thomas and his crew. He's our councilman that's in charge of the street department. John Podolinsky, they're doing a really good job and moving it right along to help us get this trail built through the city. This Sunday, April 6th, Empty Bowls is being presented at Community Action. Councilman Billy, could you just enlighten us a little bit more on that, please?
Yeah, so this Sunday at Community Action right down here at the top of Beeson Avenue, or Beeson Boulevard. So what this event is for Community Action, it directly benefits the food bank. 100% of the proceeds from Empty Bowls goes directly to the Fayette County Food Bank. Very important. Also with the admission of, and so they're the $20 tickets and $25 at the door. And you know, with that, you not only do you get to enjoy a bowl of soup provided by a local restaurant in Fayette County, and somewhat of a competition between the different restaurants, so that you'll be able to tally and see, you know, vote for which one that you feel is the best. But not only with the entry, admission is a bowl of soup, but also you receive a handmade ceramic bowl locally made by local students from Fayette County, the Bruderhof, and also there was some local businesses that also from Fayette County that have also done that. Really great event. This is the 10th year that it's going, so if you do have an opportunity, please check it out. And also that any of the information would be through Community Action, through their Facebook and different websites.
Very good. Thank you, Councilman.
You're welcome.
Next thing on the agenda, I don't know if anyone has noticed, I think you should take some time. If you look on the upper end of Peter Street that runs parallel here with City Hall, we had a new fence installed, and the reason I'm bringing that to light is that our own employees, Rob Allman, Ed King, they were able to install that. Again, that's in-house. We don't have to pay for a contractor to come in, and they did a really nice job. If you get a chance, walk by it, and I'm sure you'll agree with me that it's a neat, clean job, and we were able to save some money for the city. And while we're talking about Rob and Ed, especially Ed in this, we're getting a new roof put on City Hall, which is way overdue. And Ed has kind of overseen that project, and I want to thank him for taking his time out of his busy day just to make everything run smooth. And thanks to Ed King. May 1st is our annual May Day parade here in the city of Uniontown. It begins at 6 o'clock on May 1st, and it's always well attended, so get a chance and come on down and see what our city looks like and meet with your neighbors and friends. The 26th of April, which is the last Saturday of the month, is our semi-annual cleanup day. And that's whenever we go out throughout the neighborhoods, pick up some garbage. And again, it's a good time to get out with your friends and neighbors and beautify our city. And I believe that the county is having a recycling day also out at their site out by 84 Lumber, that you can take hard to recycle items out there, and you can call the recycling company there, and they can tell you what you can bring and what the cost is and what their hours are. Summer's approaching quickly, and Councilwoman Brown has been working day in and day out, trying to get our parks in order so everyone, just not the youth of Uniontown, but everyone can have an enjoyable summer. And one new thing that we've done, our basketball program was really well received last year. We had 52 teams that were entered. Now that starts at 3rd grade and it goes to a high school level. But this year we're looking to, again, save money for the city, but we're looking to provide a safe atmosphere. So if anyone's interested in maybe pursuing a referee career, but just wants to get started, we're looking for some volunteers to referee some of the younger children games. We're not going to ask you to referee the high school or junior high level, but at the elementary level, if you're interested, we have it posted on our Facebook page. And you can get a hold of Mr. Ware Gladman he's assistant basketball coach at Uniontown. He heads up the basketball program for us. Or get a hold of Councilwoman Brown, and she would be more than happy to sign you up for being a free referee. And again, I'll put Angela out on a limb. If you have any questions about recreation or the basketball program, I'm sure Miss Brown would be more than happy to answer your questions, or more important, accept your help. Neighborhood meetings. We had 7 neighborhood meetings in the city. We just concluded last night at Lafayette School. Crystal Simmons had coordinated those meetings, and they were about our comprehensive plan. Again, I don't want to take Ms. Simmons' thunder. She'll explain what we did at the meetings, what the results are, but I had the opportunity to attend a number of them, and every one I attended, there was different ideas in different neighborhoods. Each neighborhood, they have different needs and wants, but we're going to bring all those together, and Crystal and her team will put that all together and probably give us a report in a month or so. But again, thank you, Crystal, for doing that. I know that takes some time. Crystal lives, she doesn't live here in town, so it's not like myself. I can walk to most all the activities, but she has to be here the first one to get here and the last one to leave, and then drive home. So my hat's off to you, Crystal. Thank you. I saved not that all these items that I brought up aren't important, but I saved the best one for last. If you had watched the news and found out and saw we had a fire on Evans Street, one of our police officers, Corporal Zach Vernell, was the first officer arriving at the scene of the fire, and he did a very heroic act, saving a woman that was on a roof. If you have a chance, and I don't want to try to ad-lib what people said, but if you have a chance, WNBS Brian, here's a little plug for you too. On their Facebook page, get there and look up about the Evans Street fire, and they report that, and Lieutenant Kalensik was very good in the accolades that he laid upon Corporal Vernell. I don't want to try to repeat what he said, but the words that he stated were very, very well spoken and very true. So at this time, I'd like to read a proclamation that we have here, and then I'll call Corporal Vernell up to the table. Whereas on March 29, 2025, Corporal Zachary Vernell demonstrated exceptional courage and quick thinking in a life-threatening situation while serving as a member of the Uniontown City Police Department. And whereas Corporal Zachary Vernell acted swiftly and decisively, resulting in the successful rescue and saving of a known female from a residential structure fire at 204 Evans Street. And whereas Corporal Zachary Vernell's actions exemplify the best qualities of our community and serve as a beacon of hope and inspiration for all. And whereas the City of Uniontown is proud to recognize Corporal Zachary Vernell's extraordinary bravery and selfless service. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that I, Thomas W. Gerke, Mayor of the City of Uniontown, Pennsylvania, and on behalf of the City Council and the citizens of Uniontown, do hereby extend to Corporal Zachary Vernell a life-saving award for his selfless acts. This third day of April 2025. I'd like to call Corporal Zachary Vernell up to the table. Thank you, sir.
I watched you from the alleyway when you did that. Thank you so much.
And again, thank you, Zach. Okay, thank you very much. That's all I have. Thank you very much. At this time, comments on agenda items only. If we don't have any, Mr. Witt.
All right, we will proceed with the regular agenda. Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to receive the report of the treasurer for the month of April 2025, being the same, is hereby received and filed. Councilman Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Winfrey?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brown?
Yes.
Councilman Billy?
Yes.
Mayor Gerke?
Yes.
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to accept the minutes of the April 6th, 2025 regular council meeting, being the same, actually it should be March 6th, 2025 regular council meeting, being the same, is hereby accepted and filed. Councilman Winfrey?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brown?
Yes.
Councilman Billy?
Yes.
Councilman Thomas? Mayor Gerke?
Yes.
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown, the council hereby directs the Director of Accounts and Finance to make payment of the following invoices for services rendered or products procured for the City of Uniontown. March 2025 invoices: General Fund, $162,568.96. Sewer Fund, $128,686.97. Recreation, $682.87. Recycling, $700.62. Highway, $2,436.86. Off-street, $2,856.79. And library, $30,769.41. Councilwoman Brown?
Yes.
Councilman Billy?
Before I take the vote here, I just wanted to read down through, the list of unpaid bills. This is for the general fund, and this is for the, this will be to pay the bills for the month of April. So I have A&I Fire Extinguisher LLC for $77.95, Active 911 Inc. for $425.25, American Cleaning and Supply Company for $165, AT&T $65, Autoland of Uniontown $1,433.82, Best Line Equipment $332.16, Breeze Line $10. We have another Breeze Line account for $334.90, an additional Breeze Line for $25.99, Burnsworth Garage for $307.70, Calkins Creative Company $30, Cardello Electric $581.15, Central Independent Energy LP $2,929.50, Columbia Gas $4,703.21, Cool Spring Stone Company, Cool Spring Stone Supply $3,333.24, Detective Chem Inc. $498.73, Dr. Cybertech LLC, $136.90, Fast Signs of Uniontown, $97.09. Fayette Parts service account, $485.74. Fayette Rental Solutions, $60. Full Service Network, $984.80. Galls LLC, $148.76. George R. Smalley Company, $81,190.50. Gloria J. McCormick, $156. Hoffman Kennel Inc., $635. Janitor Supply Company, $154.33. Car Nuts, $42.45. Koval Building and Plumbing Supply, $5.35. We have Lowe's, which is a number of charges here. They are, now what this is there's a journal adjustment just for council's note here. The total bill is $222.58. Lynn Peaver Company, $211.35. Mason Tri Gas, $531.23. Middletown Tractor Supplies, $89.78. We have an employee reimbursement for $72.08. National Elevator Inspection, $100.33. O'Reilly Automotive Inc., $46.27. PA Chiefs of Police Association, $250. Pennsylvania Water, for 4 different accounts we have those total $707.68. Quill Corporation, we have 6 bills totaling $839.84. Ross Brothers, $5. Ruta Communications, $215. Ryan Oil Company, $505.27. S&D Calibration Services Inc., $48. Safeway Pest Control, $40. SWIF, $1,168. T2 Systems Inc., $597. Teamsters 491 Benefit Fund, $40,533.25. The Hartford, $1,562.85. North Fayette County Municipal Authority, $78.38. We have Tractor Supply, $31.98. Traveler CL Remittance Center, $9,817.25. Tricon Alternative Services Inc., $1,080. US Municipal Supply Inc., $192.12. UPS, $157.20. Vermin Control, $50. Whitmer Public Safety Group, $202, brings our grand total to $162,568.96, and that is for all the general. Yes.
Councilman Winfrey?
Yes.
Councilman Thomas?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown that it hereby adopted a resolution of the City of Uniontown, Fayette County, Pennsylvania, establishing local pollutant limits for wastewater discharged into the sanitary sewer system tributary to the Greater Uniontown Joint Sewage Plant Authority wastewater treatment plant, and repealing any previously adopted resolutions inconsistent with this resolution. Councilman Billy?
Yes.
Councilman Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Winfrey?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brown?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to authorize K2 Engineering to do a traffic study for the purpose of installing stop signs on Easy Street. Councilman Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Winfrey?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brown?
Yes.
Councilman Billy?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to approve the services agreement between the City of Uniontown and Martinac Consulting to conduct a strategic management planning program grant, which includes a match of $6,700 or $6,300. Councilman Winfrey?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brown?
Yes.
Councilman Billy?
Yes.
Councilman Thomas?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to approve a joint cooperation agreement with McMillan Engineering, the City of Uniontown Redevelopment Authority, and the City of Uniontown for the City of Uniontown's comprehensive plan. Such services will not exceed $168 per hour. Councilwoman Brown?
Yes.
Councilman Billy?
Yes.
Councilman Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Winfrey?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to enter into an economic development cooperation agreement between the Redevelopment Authority of the City of Uniontown and the City of Uniontown for services to include landlord registration and licensing, the vacant building registration, which includes a 60-40 split, SAM registration and management, and to identify funding opportunities as agent for the City of Uniontown with a stipend of $10,000. Councilman Billy?
Before we take the vote, do we have any members of council that have a question for the director on this agreement?
Well, no, I had questions because this was amended, but when our solicitor explained, it makes sense to me,
Okay.
so I have no more questions.
Yes. Thank you, Councilwoman.
Councilman Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Winfrey?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brown?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to approve a cooperation agreement between the City of Uniontown, the Redevelopment Authority of the City of Uniontown, and City Mission Living Stones Incorporated to secure a $650,000 grant for the Redevelopment Assistance Capital Program for Phase 2 of the Gallatin School Preservation Project. Councilman Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Winfrey?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brown?
Yes.
Councilman Billy?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to approve Bowers Electrical to install electrical wiring at Bailey Park's press box for a total cost of $1,850. Councilman Winfrey?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brown?
Yes.
Councilman Billy?
Yes.
Councilman Thomas?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to hire Alyssa Barkley as full-time sewage supervisor at a rate of $20.71 per hour upon successful completion of a 90-day probationary period. Councilwoman Brown?
Yes.
Councilman Billy?
I'd just like to thank all the applicants that have applied here for our recent openings with the city. We've had a lot of great applicants. Please do not get discouraged if your application was not selected, for any future opportunities with the state, or excuse me, with the city. I'd just like to say thank you for everybody. It was a really good turnout for applicants, so that's pretty promising for the future. And that'd be yes.
Councilman Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Winfrey?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to approve to hire Jacob David as a full-time laborer in the city sewage department at $17.44 per hour, pending successful completion of a 90-day probationary period. Councilman Billy?
Yes.
Councilman Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Winfrey?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brown?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to approve Lee's Plumbing to install 3 4 feet by 8 feet handicap concrete pads at Bailey Park at $950 per pad. The total cost of the project not to exceed $2,850. Councilman Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Winfrey?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brown?
Yes.
Councilman Billy?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to approve Roloff Lawn and Landscaping to provide labor and materials for installation of mulch at Bailey Park for a total cost of $1,100. Councilwoman Brown?
Yes.
Councilman Billy?
Yes.
Councilman Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Winfrey?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to authorize the purchase of 4 rear tires for fire engine number 2 from Burnsworth's Garage for a total cost of $2,380. Councilwoman Brown?
Yes.
Councilman Billy?
Yes.
Councilman Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Winfrey?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to authorize the purchase of 36 street signs from U.S. Municipal for a total cost of $594.54. Councilman Billy?
Yes.
Councilman Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Winfrey?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brown?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown, the council approving payment for the following sewage customer. This property was sold. The previous owner had a credit on his sewage account at the time of closing. This is for a total refund of $315, and it was submitted by our sewage office as a request. Councilman Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Winfrey?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brown?
Yes.
Councilman Billy?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to approve the overhead banner request for the Philip J. Michael 5K race being held on May 18th, 2025. Councilman Winfrey?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brown?
Yes.
Councilman Billy?
Yes.
Councilman Thomas?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
And be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to grant in part and deny in part a tow rotation list license suspension of professional auto. Councilwoman Brown?
Yes.
Councilman Billy?
No.
Councilman Thomas?
No.
Councilman Winfrey?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
And that is all we have for the regular agenda this evening.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Witt. This time is for department reports. We'll start off with our code enforcement, Mr. Terrence Price.
Good evening, everyone. Put
Good
my
evening.
glasses on. Code update for today. To Mayor Gurke, City Council, as always, just want to say thank you all for your continued support and encouragement. Off to a very busy but productive spring, high volume of calls, and just to kind of give you a brief overview with the code fund, we normally average somewhere between 20 to 25 calls a day. And those calls range from, well, let me say, not just calls, but emails and text messages, vary from trash, rubbish, old abandoned cars, a lot of furniture. It just seemed like lately there's been just mattresses and couches everywhere, burnout structures and old vacant building structures. I will say things are improving in certain locations throughout the city. Would love to see certain areas get cleaned up a little faster, but I just want to thank the residents and businesses and landlords that have been receptive to code enforcement. I know it's, I hear a couple of people saying, it's been a absence of code in the city, but just want to thank those people who have been very receptive to it. It's definitely bringing an awareness to the city. I can say that for myself, can't speak for everyone else, but it's definitely bringing awareness to the city. And then I just also want to just kind of just give a brief challenge to the landlords and to those, property owners. Don't wait until the citywide cleanup to clean up your properties or to put, just all of a sudden throw matches on different things like that. Just want to challenge the landlords to continue to keep a close eye on your properties, or landlord or the property managers, keep a close eye on your properties. When I reach out to them, normally what I do, if it's a landlord property, I'll call or send a notice of violation, or I'll send a text and with a picture and just bring to their awareness, bring to their attention about the issues that are at hand. I will say 90% of the landlords have been very receptive so far up until now. So I'm very encouraged of that. And so a lot of times if they don't respond, no answer back, we have to move the issue forward. We have to, serve citations, and if those don't get paid, we state citations. But I just want to thank the ones who have been just being compliant by code so far. The last month, we've had some, I don't want to say issues, but we've had a couple of dumpster companies bring in dumpsters in the city. And most time after I talk to the mayor in the morning, I'll ride around the city, just kind of write on my notepad, like different structures, code issues and stuff. And so just seeing some of those dumpsters, and I'll check in with the mayor's office and see if they have acquired their dumpster permits, and some have not. But just want to thank those companies. I don't want to release those names, but want to thank those companies who stepped up to the plate and have came in and kept their word and acquired their dumpster permits. And, you know, I'll say this, and the city's holding me accountable to do a job. So when we reach out, it's never to make someone a personal target, or we're out to get someone, but I'm trying to hold people accountable. So, and I tell the mayor all the time, hey man, if I'm not doing my job, just let me know. But when I'm reaching out to them, just want to let them know, hey, these things were brought to our attention. We're trying to, you know, follow the city's rules, regulations, and ordinances. So just want to I just pray as we move forward that people will still just come alongside and support what we're doing with code and with the city. It's making a difference. So want to thank the ladies in City Hall as always. They've been very helpful in finding phone numbers. I've been doing a lot of walking. Chief DeWitt always tells me I need to slow down, but just going back and forth to the tax office trying to find numbers, because with the burnout structures, a lot of people are deceased, or people live out of state, and you know, a lot of people don't always call back. But we're working hard to get some of these structures down. I want to thank Ms. Simmons, who's been great explaining and laying out the Act 90. And also want to thank Mr. Joshua K2. Anytime there's a concern with a building structure, I'll reach out to Josh, and he's been great to work with. And I just also want to thank Redevelopment as well for the Our Work program. It's made my job so much easier with the notice of violations, because it already has a template typed up for you. It has a box. You just type in your complaints and your issues and stuff, what your time frame you want the people to get everything cleaned up. So just want to thank Redevelopment for that. Up till date, we've issued 30 sweep citations, and those have varied from trash, furniture, violation of International Property Maintenance Code. There have been a total of 38 state citations that have been written up and filed with the magistrate's office, 19 quality of life violations, and then 19 restitution of non-payments, and then 4 notice of violation letters that have been issued for building structures throughout our city that I've posted up. And we've received some of the receipts, tickets back from some of the certified letters that we've sent out. So I'm just praying and hoping that people will just not only just receive the letters and receive the notice that they're on the door, but they'll reach out to me and put a plan of action together to where we can get some of these burnout structures and some of these old buildings where we have bricks and stuff falling down. 2 vehicles that have been tagged, that were tagged to be towed. Other than that, that's my report. Again, I'm not getting on anybody. I'm just encouraging us all. You know, we can all make a difference together. If you see something throughout the city, feel free to reach out to me through call or text message or email. And yeah, let's keep the ball rolling. So that's all.
Thank you, Terrence, as always.
Thank you.
Redevelopment Authority, Ms. Simmons.
Good evening. I laid your reports out there for you. I did reschedule the quarterly CDBG meeting to April 11th at 10 a.m. That's a conference call, so you can just dial in, have a conversation. I wasn't able to hold the call last Friday. I was out in the field. The 2024 DCD review is complete. Or actually, rather, that's the 2025 review. So the 2025 applications have moved forward to the next round. That funding is for code enforcement, blight demolition, and currently it's scheduled for Marshall Park and Grant Street Park. With some different things reviewed, we're discussing modifying that grant for only Marshall Park. That would need to happen through a public process. There needs to be meetings, resolutions to ensure that we are informing the public and that that's a decision that we've formalized. The 2025 public hearing, or no, I was right. No, it is the 2024 application. This is 2025. I don't even know what year I'm in. The public hearing is going to be in May. So we'll have our first public hearing. It'll be posted on Facebook. We will be launching it out on our website. And that's the meeting where anyone from the public can come in with a project or activity. Anything at all. They can come in and we have a conversation. It probably will be here at City Hall, but we have discussed having it at different locations. the quick glance review spreadsheet for the existing CDBG projects. Calvary United Methodist Playground, or East End Playground, the nickname we're giving it. Property donations are underway, so we've taken the next steps forward with the URA requirements, and now we're drafting up the deeds to own the property, and we're entering into an engineering agreement next week. That's going to allow us to do the design, and our goal and timeline and what we have to abide by is to have that park installed by December 2025. State Theater external rehabilitation, SHPO, State Historic Preservation Office, 106 finding of adverse effect. We've taken that to the next step. There's some things that we need to do to make sure we're following the 106 requirements for the Historic Preservation Office, and then we can take our next steps. So we got their review back, and that's moved along as well. One Voice, One Community is over 50% exhausted. I've requested some photos and some curriculum overview and a little narrative of what that funding covered, which covers staff for tutoring. So it's an evening tutoring program, 3 to 5 or 6, I think. There's basic skills, there's cooking, and it's great curriculum for the students. It's anywhere from kindergarten through high school. So that's, I've asked to put together a little report for that, for our public service. The city funded that through their CDBG program. The comprehensive planning meeting, I wanted to thank DJ and the police for providing, and the mayor for setting up the security at the past 2 meetings that we had. For the school district, you need to have someone there. The meetings didn't get wild or anything. They went very well. We had around 60 folks, and Jared, to answer your question, it was actually around 50 because we had 10 that came to more than one, which I think that is good too, having 10 to come more than one. It went really well. We had them in 7 areas throughout the neighborhood. We got a lot of great input. We got some similar input. Now, all that will go into a spreadsheet, and we're going to score them to determine, ultimately, out of all those meetings, what were the top 5 priorities. And really, that's kind of the direction we'll go for recommendations in that plan. We should have it ready for review in the soon future, but probably adopt it in the fall. We have the first payment that's ready to draw down for McMillan Engineering. Now, the comment period for comprehensive planning ends April 12th. If you are unable to make it to a meeting, you can go onto uniontownredevelopment.com, scroll down into the news, and watch the video. It's a virtual meeting, and there's a virtual form, and you can make sure your comments are included too. So we encourage anyone to do that. The blight remediation plan, I mentioned I was in the field. The condition assessments for the structures, I want to thank Brad Trott, a Redevelopment Authority board member. Him and I was in the field all day Friday assessing structures. And what that is we look at the structure, we determine if it's a poor rated, good rating, or fair rating. And ultimately we'll end up with a plan where we can actually see where all the blighted structures are and target funding. So that's coming along great. We're submitting our first CFA drawdown for that consultant, and we anticipate that wrapping up in April, or end April. April 10th is our blight task force meeting where we're going to present some of our findings. So we're really excited to share that with council. The iWork program has been excellent for those condition assessments. And University of Pittsburgh students in their capstone program participated in that with us. And we're talking about our next capstone project with the University of Pittsburgh. So it's a great partnership with the university. Strategic management planning, we're going to have a luncheon coming up. I would really, really like it if we could get the Uniontown Downtown Business District, the Redevelopment Authority, and City Council all in City Hall between the hours of 11 and 1 to come in and have lunch, talk with our consultant, and while we're here, AOP Visuals has offered to take the pictures with a rate. split between our groups, so then we can get pictures for the website, pictures for Facebook, listings for councilmen, and all three of those entities need to be active on their website. So I really hope that we can make that work. The fair funding on Winona Street kicked off. We have getting a cost analysis. Tim has helped me, thank you, Tim, to public nuisance ordinance, learning how we can review that and how we need to look at the properties. We're in the negotiation stage, so we're going to reach out to the owners along Winona Street, and hopefully they'll be willing to donate those properties to us and we can get them cleaned up and take it to the next step. Then real quick, we have owner occupied housing rehab. We cannot do anything with that because we do not have code inspections. We have requests for qualifications for lead, rate, and asbestos. We'll have a consultant come in and actually test for lead, rate, on asbestos at each one of these rehabs. And then we have the USDA program where there's nearly 4 or 5 submitted to date, so they've been going really well. We're in negotiation with 2 property sales on Murray Street where we have demolished some buildings, so those will sell to the neighboring property. The iWork modules are pretty much complete. The rental module, we will be having a landlord meeting within the next month. I was hoping that we could have had it sooner for the first quarter, but we're finalizing the rental module, so landlords can expect to hear from us within the month with the renewal form and the new process and how we use iWork to prepare for the registration for owners. And then you mentioned as well, we'll also be using that site to register vacancies. The Downtown Business District will be talking with you soon regarding the scenic byway designation. We're not prepared to do that quite yet, so we're going to come back to council hopefully next month. And thank you for the Economic Development Cooperation Agreement. We'll start working towards those exhibits. And I wanted to mention that the Sheepskin Trail meeting that we're going to have at the Downtown Business District on the 9th. And we're going to have a meeting with FTC on the 14th. And then on the 16th at 7 o'clock, we're going to have a fun kickoff meeting to review the city's progress and take a look at the markings and just get acquainted with your new trail. So that will be exciting. And I think that's everything. Any questions?
So I don't have a question, but I do have a comment in dealing with the comp plans, and I just want to thank everybody that did attend those plans. Very important information that was gathered. You know, throughout all the meetings that I attended, looking at all the responses that were on the board for areas of issue, needs, and assets, you know, it's very promising for me to look and see that some of these issues that were brought up and they were pretty much these same issues all throughout all the meetings. And it's, you know, for me, very promising to see that the city is moving in those directions, you know, with codes, with the vacant buildings, with the landlord agreement. So we are moving in those directions. So it's very promising with that. Very excited to see what comes up out of you know, the study and in cooperation with the plan put together. Also with what we just had voted on earlier today with you know, with Martin Act for the stamp. I mean, that right there is going to be huge. And you know, and it also is going to, and those are all those same steps that are involved with the comp plan. So, you know, thanks for dealing with us because we're not all easy, and that goes for myself.
Thank you.
Thank you, Crystal, and thanks for your hard work. Engineering, Josh, and before you get started, I just want to tell you, thank you for working so closely with Terrence. He speaks so highly of you.
It's a pleasure to work with. Good afternoon, Council. On page 1, you'll find a list of permits that we've issued, basically for this year. It's getting long, so I'm just going to explain. On the right-hand side for the statuses, you'll see whether the permit's open, issued, or closed out. Open permits are a little bit older, and they've just been issued. Then the issued permits would have been just this month, and obviously closed out permits are permits that are completed. For municipal engineering, we're working with the city for the sheepskin trail, and we'll continue to do so. For code enforcement, property maintenance, and zoning violations, both garages on the list are still pending a hearing. The YMC building is also pending a hearing, and that's scheduled for
Do we have enough?
4/17. 16 McCormick Avenue, there's a sewage line malfunction at the property. I posted the property as uninhabitable until that repair is made. The property is currently vacant. 89 Whiteman Avenue, we received a call and I met with Terrence and Chief DeWitt. The property currently doesn't have water. They haven't been paying for the water, so their water was turned off. But they have been gathering water from springs or neighbors, so they are able to use the toilet facilities and are able to clean. So I afforded them 2 weeks to come into compliance and get their water turned back on. 28 Daniel Street, this is a zoning violation. Property owner built a fence on an adjacent property, and I had to take them to the magistrate's office. I had a hearing last week for the fence. Judge granted a 30-day continuance, and the property owner is going to move the fence. I met with them, so that'll be resolved. And 61 Kensington Avenue, it's the same situation, but the hearing hasn't been scheduled yet. And then as far as the last page, that's just funding opportunities, so grants, just review that at your leisure, and if you have any questions, please reach out to us. That's everything I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Josh, as always. Public Works, Mr. Podolinsky.
Hi, good evening, everyone. To start off, I'd just like to give the sewage report here. This month, they took in a total of $211,609.43, bringing this year-to-date total to $648,633.33. I know soon here there'll be an open position, and speaking for the women in there, every time I go in there, they're always very responsive to any needs I have, and it's good to get a new hire in there. That way they can get some training and get the feel for the office and not just throw them in and say get to work. Also going with sewage, I'd like to thank the mayor and council for approving the new hire. We had an open position, and as Mr. Billy said, there were some good applicants, and after weeding through them and only having one position, I believe we picked a good option here, and hopefully it's a good fit when he starts here and works out well. For the sewage guys, I'm sure the residents have noticed, we've started on the sheepskin trail, the rail removal. It's going pretty well. The bridges slow us down some, but we're making our way across them. And the surrounding property owners have been pretty cooperative with us and are helping us out a lot with letting us use their property to park vehicles and to remove any rails and ties that we have to get them off site here. Also, the sewage has been keeping up with some sewage backups with jetter truck cleaning and a few digs here. For the lawn collection, I know lawn season's taken off here and people are doing their spring cleaning here. Starting next week here, we'll be back on our regular Monday and Friday collection days, willing that there is the employees and manpower there to do it those days. For the street department here, they have a small crew, as I stole one of their employees to help with the trail. So the 2-man crew has been out with the street sweeper and keeping downtown garbage all cleaned and collected. Also, we've had a issue with the street sweeper with a bearing going out, but it has since been repaired, so it'll be out and back sweeping here, trying to keep up with all the winter cleanup and debris. If your street hasn't been done yet, it is on the list and it is in the rotation. It is a slow process, but they are out trying to tackle the city one road at a time here. That's all I have. Anyone have any questions? Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, John. Fire Department, Chief Corn?
Okay, as always, start off with our rundown of our incidents. These are going to be for the month of March 2025. We had 18 fire-related incidents. These included 7 building fires, 1 fire in a portable structure, 1 kitchen fire confined to the stovetop, 4 trash fires, 1 grass or vegetation fire, 1 woods fire, and 1 excessive heat or scorched burn with no ignition, and 2 smoke conditions with the fire failing to ignite. So it's been a super busy 2 months, really, for fires. And there again, you know, like we always say, not only the ones that we actually had that ignited, but several close calls though. 29 rescue-related incidents. These included 17 vehicle collisions. 8 of those were with injuries. We had 2 physical rescue incidents, 5 lockout, gain access for the EMS crews. We had 3 elevator rescues. We've had a few of those this month too as well though, so it's been kind of busy for that for whatever reason. 1 rescue of a person from machinery, and 1 extrication of an ill or injured person from a building where we were assisting EMS. We had 10 hazardous condition incidents. These included 4 power lines down, 2 gas leaks, 1 arcing short-circuited equipment, 2 carbon monoxide incidents, and 1 flammable liquid spill. We had 7 service-related incidents. These included 4 persons in distress, 1 lockout, 1 water issue, and 1 general service call. 7 fire alarm activations. Those have actually been cutting down. We're usually about double that, though. So, and anytime you cut down on any of these, it's not a bad thing, believe me. But we only had 7 of those this month for whatever reason. Had 5 weather-related incidents also. Moving on to training conducted or taken by department personnel for the month of March. We had some really, really good numbers on this one. 134 man-hours of training conducted for the month of March. So, you know, very proud of our guys. You know, we've been conducting some training in-house with the station, and you know, guys are also going out and seeking like state accredited classes as well. So everybody's doing good. Everybody's doing really good with that. As far as the apparatus updates, the next of our apparatus is due for the PA state inspection for the year, and that's going to be our engine number 2, which was the reason we were asking for the tires so it would pass, and thank you. We got pretty good wear on those tires. Actually, those are original to the truck 2019, so you know, we didn't do too bad though, but thank you to council for supporting that resolution for us. One other thing as far as apparatus, spring and summer's coming up soon, and that's usually whenever we're doing our pump service and our pump testing on the pumps on our mobile apparatus. I need to get some updated prices and get back with you to get it put on a resolution for approval, but that's coming right around the corner, so and I'm sure everybody's glad, especially this past winter, to have summer on the way. I know I am. So. And really, you know, other than that, finally my monthly reminder, bingo tonight. Doors are open. It's going to be going on here shortly. And thank you for your support, everybody. I think that's all I have. Anybody have any questions or anything? Yes, sir.
On the training.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get a good idea so with the 3 different shifts, and it's a total of 134 man hours total.
Yes, sir.
Per month.
And that's also with the volunteers too.
Okay, so
yeah.
Getting into the training, per shift, weekly, what would you average the training to total up to this 134? Is it so much training through the week? Because I understand that you're probably working, the way it rotates is you work a 24-hour shift.
Couple days off, 24-hour shift, yeah.
So within that week, how many shifts you going to work a week?
2 to 3.
Okay, so 2 to 3 shifts.
2 to 3 shifts a week. Yep.
Is it like throughout the shifts? Is it on a certain shift? Is it throughout the week, or is it just any time sporadically, or is it just like on a consistent thing that we're gonna do this?
A little bit of both.
Yeah,
Little bit of both, to be honest with you. A lot of times, you know, we'll get our house chores done and be like, hey, let's train. Sometimes we'll have some of the volunteers hanging out down there. They'll start asking questions. We'll say, hey, let's go out in the apparatus bay.
Yeah.
Let's train. You know what I mean? And then sometimes we do have scheduled trainings too.
Is it
Yep.
total everybody, or more, some? Is it equal to all of our firemen, our personnel, or is it more so just a few people, or is it spread out equally?
Yeah, it's I guess maybe spread out equally. I mean, you know, everybody's really seeking out to get better.
Yeah, cool.
You know what I mean? I guess that's probably the best way I can answer that. We got a lot of guys too. I know several, even the volunteers, have been going out and taking outside training, like at Westmoreland Community College and things, and as well as the paid staff too. So yeah, but that's probably the best way to answer that equally. You know, everybody's, you know, just out there seeking to either learn something new or hone on existing skills.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Well, you always
so-
have to continue to grow and you know, refine.
And a lot of it changes with the technology of the equipment. You know, the fire dynamics, just, you know, the fires are different these days. It's the way that they're spreading faster with all the plastics and everything. So I know I came into this in 1986, and it's a lot different.
So I'm going to circle
So,
back
yeah.
to last meeting when I was really trying to, you know, get a picture that the public can understand, you know, what fire services are provided for the city.
Yes.
And the one question that you know, because it's very important for people to understand that, you know, what you're getting for the service and how fast how fast our department responds.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, and I guess the follow-up question, and it was a great question, you know, as I was having a sidebar after the meeting with Chief DeWitt, and it is, how long for a room that catches to be completely engulfed?
And where it reaches what they call flashover. At one time, whenever we used more natural products, what they called legacy materials, legacy construction, you were looking at 15, maybe 20 minutes. You're looking at about 4 now.
Yeah.
Because of all the synthetics.
And so
It's cut it down that much.
And it's, you know, and I'm glad we were able to circle back around and talk about it, because
Yeah.
that was my point when I was asking, you know, and I really wanted you to naturally,
Yeah.
you know, answer that question. And, you know, and that is, you know, it's so important to have these services that the city provides.
Oh, very much
And it
so.
is the bulk of our tax
Mhm.
burden, and the worth that it is for the city. You know, yes, you can go somewhere else and pay less, but you're gonna wait.
Yeah.
You know, and yes, you can have these services, but, you know, and it's proven between our two departments that we are expanding through mutual aid, whether it's through contract or if it's just
Very
the
much.
agreement.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep, definitely. So, yep, sure thing, not a problem. Any other questions, comments? No? Okay, well, thank you, appreciate it.
Keith,
All right.
thank you, Chief.
Yep, anytime.
Last but not least, our police department, Chief DeWitt.
Evening, everybody. So, Mayor, Council, thank you for recognizing Corporal Vernell for his actions in that incident. What he did speaks its own volumes, but I think one of the bigger outtakes of this is, if you got to watch the body cam video, my take on it is clearly the exceptional acts that our officer did. But the other side of that I think the general public could see when you watch that video in its entirety is you're going to focus on two departments that work so closely together, that we have a fire department that trusts one of our guys. We know each other well enough that Vernell has the capability to go handle that while they take care of a bigger risk, with believed to have more entrapment at that time. So that's one of my biggest takeaways. I'm happy for the relationship that we have and continue to look forward to work through that. So during the month of March, the Uniontown Police Department responded to 766 calls for service. A breakdown of some of those calls included 17 vehicle accidents, 6 assaults, 4 frauds, 14 welfare checks, 33 domestics, 7 assist fire calls, 16 disorderly conducts, 18 warrant services, 17 emergency medical assist, 13 assist other police agencies, 24 harassments, 2 shots fired, 38 alarms. And going to the alarms, Scott said he don't know what to attribute that to. For the lesser alarms, I can attribute something to it. Corporal DeFore took over doing our alarm enforcement and permits. And we've been, once you get the third or subsequent alarm to a house, it's a false alarm or a structure, we are issuing citations. So, not saying that's the whole factor, but I'm sure that's some contributing factor to why we're getting some of these less alarms, where there's teeth to the having a faulty alarm and not getting it fixed. 17 thefts, 3 public intoxications, 6 controlled substance cases. Officers have continued to do search warrants through the Drug Task Force and through our agency at multiple properties throughout the city and in our neighboring jurisdictions as well. 16 animal complaints, 89 suspicious persons, activities, or vehicles, and 8 burglaries. Officers made 42 criminal arrests, issued 16 non-traffic citations and 74 traffic citations. And we did our normal patrols of the parks, trails, and parking garages. Council, any questions? Go ahead.
So, from the comp plan meetings, you know, one of the biggest things that I noticed was parking. And this is, you know, kind of twofold. This is for our, you know, police department code. We're lacking. You know, and it really, it's a cry to from the businesses as well. You know, at one time where we had coin meters that would generate, we then moved to 2-hour parking, and it's abused, and it's abused by some of our local businesses, and what that is meant for, it's meant for customers to come into the city to you know, be patrons. So what you will be seeing in the future is you're going to see a heavier presence during the you know, work hours downtown. You know, of course, that's going to be through the guidance, you know, with the guidance of the mayor. You know, and what I really want to reach out is I really just want to ask the businesses to really be mindful of that and making sure that it's not employee parking on the street. You know, that it is open for people that are, you know, coming to the city to do the shopping and visiting our restaurants and that of that nature. So this is just one more thing that I'm asking you guys to do, you know, and you know, and I'm really confident that you guys will come to the table with that. And,
Yeah, absolutely. And I actually had a discussion with the mayor 2 days ago about us reposting for the parking attendant position.
Great.
For us. You know, self-admittedly, that has been laxed recently, but we're also down multiple officers at this point.
There's so
in
many,
training.
and
We're working
believe
through
me,
that.
you know, and with that is that, you know, it really just truly shows you how thin the city really is with, you know, the workforce. And, you know, and I know people out there want to say that we need to trim, but truly it's hard to trim when there's very little staff. I mean, we have enough staff. In some departments we may have more, but in overall, you know, the people at this table, myself, I ask way too much out of the employees of the city for what we, you know, and they rise to the occasion. And, you know, I'm very proud of, you know, especially the people in my office with that, and all of our departments. They rise to the occasion, and, you know, all of us together are not easy on them. You know, some are easier than others, but, you know, speaking for myself, I'm not easy on them, and, you know, do a really good job, you know, and we continue daily to ask more from them, and they continue. So thank you in advance.
Appreciate it. Try my best, right?
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
It's time and place now for public comment. Do we have any public comment? Mr. Craven. State your name and your address too, please.
Robert Craven, 6 West Island Avenue, Uniontown, Pennsylvania. I think I understand that we're putting the playground in the east end of Uniontown, but they're going to name it East End Playground?
Just a nickname for now.
There's only one East End playground, and there will ever be one East End playground, simply because people don't understand the history of this playground. The history of that playground is where champions were made. It's where college and professional athletes got their start. It's where professional basketball players used to travel miles, and college players used to travel miles to play on Saturdays, Sundays at East End Playground. And I think it is not right for a new playground be called East End Playground. Matter of fact, I believe that there ought to be a bronze plaque put up there. You know where it's at? It's right across Grant Street from Lance's Funeral Home. It is an historic site there, and I think that we could find another name. I mean, no offense, but we put Fike Playground on one side of town. Why wasn't that Lincoln View? You see, you get my drift? But I think that there will be a lot of people upset if we make another East End playground.
I usually call it Calvary Playground.
That's fine.
But it will have a different name. The church and the work group is reviewing it, possibly doing, voting for the name, but I just called it that because it's in that neighborhood.
Okay. But now you know.
Yeah, no, that's good to know.
And like I said, I honestly hope that on that wall up there, I mean, it's a parking lot now, but it was where East End Grade School was, in that playground behind it, where the parking lot is, was I mean, you could hardly get up and down the street back in the 60s and 70s for people coming just to watch these players play. I mean, it was the Rikers of Uniontown. And I hope we can get the council to put a bronze plaque up there commemorating that it was a site that champions were made. Thank you.
I agree, Reverend. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Reverend. Any other public comment this evening? If not, that's all I have, Mr. Witt.
Okay, with that being the case, be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown, the council hereby adjourns to meet on Thursday, May 1st, 2025 at 5 o'clock p.m. Councilman Billy?
Yes.
Councilman Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Winfrey?
Yes.
Councilwoman Brown?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes, thank you all for attending.
Good meeting, everyone. I'm just shiny.